Chapter 8 Milktooth Manor. They left the castle and walked back across the bridge over Mouthwash Moat. Milktooth looked extremely glum.
Of all the people we could ask, why'd it have to be my mum?
He moaned. She must be terribly special, said Reece William, if the king of all the Toothfaries thinks she's the only one who can help us.
Yeah, I suppose so,
mumbled Milktooth, and he even managed a little smile.
Anyway, we better get going. It's quite a long way from here. If we're lucky, we might even arrive in time for tea.
And at this thought, Milktooth's little smile grew bigger. They walked back the way they had come through Tooth City. Reece William still couldn't help staring about him. It was, he thought, the most marvellous place he had ever been. Once they were outside the gates, Milktooth pointed towards some green fields, dotted here and there with buildings made of teeth. Beyond the fields were high, rolling hills.
It's that way, Milktooth said. Once we're over the hills, there's a forest. Beyond that is a river, and then it's Mum's place.
Gosh, Reece William murmured, that is a long way. And he looked down at his little legs, wondering if they would be able to make it.
Can't we fly?
Asked Reece William hopefully.
Surely your wings must be rested by now. Can't fly all the way, Milktooth answered. You're too heavy. We'll have to walk as far as the hills. Once we get to the top, I can fly us over the forest. When we get past the forest, there's a bridge over the stream, and then we're there.
Right then, said Reece William. Off we go. They set off across the green fields. As they got closer, Reece William could see that the little Tooth buildings were cottages. Now and then they saw tiny puffs of smoke coming from the little Tooth chimneys on top of the cottages. They walked for what, to Reece William at least, seemed like days and days. In truth, it was only a matter of hours. At long last, they arrived at the foot of the hills. Reece William looked up.
Blimey, he said. They're awfully steep.
He looked at Milktooth again, hopefully.
Couldn't we just... No,
snapped Milktooth.
We couldn't. Now keep walking or we'll never get there by tea time.
Then he added miserably,
Our tummy's grumbling. I've missed breakfast and dinner.
Reece William realised that he had too, and his tummy was grumbling as well. With this thought, he started walking even faster. Although the hill was incredibly steep, there was a winding path which led to the top. When they finally made it, both Reece William and Milktooth were out of breath.
I need to rest for a minute,
gasped Reece William.
Me too,
puffed Milktooth. And with that, they both collapsed in little heaps on the grass. Once they got their breath back, Reece William stood up and looked out into the distance. Below them, on the other side of the hill, was a deep, dark forest. Reece William shuddered.
You did say we could fly over the forest, didn't you?
Reece William asked in a low voice.
I'm not daft, you know,
muttered Milktooth.
There's no way I'd walk through there. All sorts of who knows what live in there. I want my tea, not to be someone else's.
At this, Reece William laughed and Milktooth grinned. He got up and stood next to Reece William.
There,
he said, pointing.
Way over there, can you see it?
Reece William followed the way the little finger was pointing and could just make out a white something. It was shining in the sunlight.
That,
said the little fairy proudly,
is Milktooth Manor. It's my home.
He fluttered his little wings happily, rising up off the ground.
Come on,
he said to Reece William.
Give me your hand. We'll be home soon.
Reece William took hold of Milktooth's hand and up they went. Up, up and away, whizzing over the treetops of the forest. Faster and faster they went. Milktooth, although terrified of what Madam Milktooth said when they arrived, really couldn't wait to get home. In no time at all they had passed over the forbidding-looking forest. The little fairy's wings now flapped slower and slower. They landed with a bump on the bank of the river. Sure enough, there in front of them was a bridge. A bridge that, like everything else in this land, was made of teeth. On the other side of the bridge, ringed by a little white fence, stood Tooth Manor. It was a very impressive house indeed. It was made of 3 great big fat teeth with rounded tops and 3 chimneys.